Hey, you all. Happy Monday. I hope you had an awesome 5 days off and you're ready for week 15. So, for Meaningful Monday, you have a word that you're going to use context clues to figure out the meaning and then choose the correct meaning, A, B, C, or D, and write it here in the box. For synonyms or antonyms, remember synonyms mean the same, antonyms mean the opposite. And then over here, you are reading about the early settlers, and then you're going to try to figure out which statement the author would most likely agree with. So based on what you read in the paragraph, which one of these statements would go with that paragraph, or do you feel like the author would also agree with? For Multiplication Monday, you are going to write an equation to go with the word problem here. So this one, you are actually taking the product, which is 18, and you are going to divide it into two piles. So this is actually a division problem instead of a multiplication problem, but you can solve it using multiplication. So if you have two piles or two groups of eggs, and you have a total of 18 eggs, how many are in each of the groups? So 2 times what equals 18 is the way that you can think about this product or this equation, without using division, since we haven't really delved into that quite yet. For true or false, you have 4 groups of 2. Is that the same as 1 group of 8? So think about what is 4 times 2 and think about what is 1 times 8. If they give you the same answer, it's true. If they give you different answers, then it's false. And then down here, Mary makes 3 pumpkin pies. She slices each pie into 6 parts. How many slices does she have? So this is just a standard multiplication problem. You can use arrays or equal groups, repeated addition, whatever strategy you like best to solve that. For reading this week, we are working on folktales. Remember, folktales are stories that a long, long time ago were told orally or by mouth, and they've become like a tradition in that part of the world. You all are going to be listening to Old Bufena, and it is a story from Italy. And this story, the main character is the woman, Old Bufana. And as you listen, pay really close attention to the setting, the major events, which is what we focused on the week before break, the problem, the solution, and the lesson that she learns. You are going to be recounting the story or putting it in order of major events. So if you are looking at these images and you're not quite sure what they represent, you may need to listen to the story a second time. The picture with the woman and the broom, that is Old Bufana, and the smiley face above her shows her happy, and the frown above her shows her unhappy. So in part of the story, she's unhappy, and in part of the story, she's happy. So you have to decide if you're starting at 1, that's the beginning of the story. 8 is the end of the story. So make sure that when you're placing these in the correct spot, you're going in the correct order. So we want whatever happened at the beginning of the story to go in 1, 2, 3, 4 is towards the middle, 5 is in the middle, and then 6, 7, 8 are heading towards the end of the story. So you have 8 different images. You're going to drag and drop them in the correct box. Then you're going to write one sentence that explains that image. Then you're going to work on summarizing. So here's a video about how to summarize based on the movie Mulan. So go ahead and watch that. And then after you've watched that video on how to summarize, listen to the song about summarizing because it'll help just stick in your head. So basically, the summarizing skill we are going to be using today is only for fiction stories, and a folktale is a form of fiction. So somebody, and I will tell you, the somebody in the story is the main character, Old Befana. She wanted something, but what's the problem? Then what happened? And then what was the solution? How did it end? What did she learn? You're going to need 1 to 2 sentences, depending on which box you're typing in order for you to accurately retell the story. So make sure you're focused only on the major events. Make sure it makes sense. You should be able to read from one box to the next and it flow together. So if you're reading it and it's not making sense, then somewhere along the lines you need to rethink what happened in the story or maybe listen to it again. All right, you all. Well, I hope you enjoy the story and have a great Monday.